Quick. Okay. All right. Hey guys, I'm excited. Look at that. It's sort of like a video. I hit record. I'm like, okay guys, hey, I totally changed the pace for the record. I'm so used to making the videos. All right. It's your coach, Scottie Hobbs. How you guys doing? No, I'm excited you guys are on this call. I know there's other coaches that you'd like to be on the call as well. And I want you to know that that's a normal part of this process. And one of the main things that I want to talk about today with you guys is the importance of consistency. I'll give you plenty of examples throughout what we talk about today. But I've had examples of coaches even that I've started and have been working on the transformation and never even started to build a business. And it took them over 2 years before they were ready to start building the business. And it always comes back to telling me, hey, thank you for always being there and teaching. And, even though I never commented or liked anything or did anything, I watched and read everything that you guys did in the team page. So it was important that, I could be discouraged when, if I have a team group and I'm posting in it every day, like doing my list of 10 things I do every day, and I'm posting and teaching. And like, nobody's responding at times. Sometimes it's like that. It feels like crickets. But I've always seen that over time, people say, hey, thank you for being there. That time just wasn't the right time for me. But I know what to do now that I'm ready. I know what to do because I've seen you stay consistent. So I know what I need to do now for my business now that I'm ready to grow it. So consistency is a huge part, a huge thing. So shout out, first of all, to all of you guys for making the time to get on this call with Sean. I'll tell you guys, I got to meet him finally in person. We invited them to stop in at our cabin when they went on their vacation. And Sean and Tara, they love you guys and they love Beachbody coaching. They want nothing more. Like, yes, Sean has his own goals of not working as much as he does and not being a DJ and all that. But his first priority is his team. I hear him talk about his team and you guys all the time. So know that Sean and Tara love you guys and they want you to be successful. Not just so that they can be successful, but they do. And Tara just made a heart. Look at that. I got 3 girls, so it's legal for me to do that. So, but I don't know. I'm going to ask you, did you guys know much of my story at all about how I got started? I know Tara and Sean do.
I do.
I know a little bit.
A little bit of it. So I'll keep it short and I'll go a little bit off track on different parts of the story to connect you with who I am as a person and why I'm successful as a Beachbody coach. So you can look at that part of the story and those traits that I possess or that Sean possesses or that any coach that you've seen that is successful possesses, so you can work on those in your own life to create success in your business. Because like Bonita said, is all this stuff, all the training and stuff is there to create a successful Beachbody business. Like everything is there. So what's the missing sauce or what's the missing thing? And many times it comes down to simple things like belief in yourself. One of my favorite quotes is by Les Brown. It says, like, all the training and systems, and I can't remember exactly what it says, but all the trainings and systems in the world can't help you if you don't believe in yourself. So you can have all this stuff, but number one thing is you need to believe in yourself. And if you haven't ever believed in yourself, now Sean, Tara, Bonita, and I are going to give you permission to say that you, just like us, can do this business. Like, we believe in you and know that you can do this if you just have faith, trust the process, stay consistent, and follow the example of what your coaches are teaching you. So I'll teach you a little bit about me and why I'm kind of how I am with, and then apply that to Team Beachbody. I've always been somebody that works really hard. And that was thanks to my dad and my grandpa. I mean, my dad had me like at 5 years old. He used to fix copying machines, or back then typewriters. Now it's copy machines, fax machines. He used to have me like tear apart typewriters with him, help him put them back together. So I knew how to do work. Like, he taught me work, even though it was just a fun hobby thing to do in the backyard on the deck. I did those little things like work. And my mom and dad made me do my list of chores and do my homework before I played. They made me get jobs so I could buy my first car, that I could put gas on my car and get my insurance. So they always made me work before I played. So I was taught that, luckily, from them. And so I've always been that way. I was we're in Idaho, so we have potato fields everywhere. I was, as a teenager, before I could work, I was working, I guess, illegal for cash on farms. I would get up before school at 3:30 and I would move pipe. I don't know if you guys know what moving pipe is. You move rows of pipe one at a time across the potato field. So I moved pipe when I was like 13 years old through the mud, got paid by the piece. So I knew that the faster and the harder I worked, the more money that I could make, which kind of applies to this business today. The faster and harder that you work and apply yourself, the more money you can make in this business. So I had all these experiences growing up. And I always, when I look at this business, I think about, I'm a big outdoors guy. I do a lot of hunting and hiking. We have some mountains called the Grand Tetons, and I've climbed to the top of those. And it's one of those things where you get up before it's dark, before the light comes up, with a lamp on your head and a backpack full of food and water, and you hike all day and you don't stop. And you get to the top and you stay for 15 minutes, and then you got to come back down so you can get back before it's like midnight. So I've always gone on adventures and things like that, and they're so freaking hard. But it's like so rewarding when you get to the top and you look out across the lakes and from like 17,000 feet and just look out. It's like the most amazing, rewarding experience to be up there, in the clouds, in a place like that. So what gets you from the truck when you get out in the dark in the morning to the top of the mountain? And really all it is making the decision, like, I'm going to go there. Like, I'm going to get to the top of the mountain. That's my goal. And then you just start walking. And it gets hard and it gets tiring. But the thing that I look at when I do those types of hikes is I just look at the next place that I can see that looks achievable. Up at the top of this summit where it looks like a rock, like it's just like pure sheer rock like this for like 2,000 feet at the end. And you can see it out there, and like, it looks so hard and daunting to get that far. But I just look at the next ridge, I identify a big boulder or a tree, and I focus on that, and I just walk to that next spot. I sit down, take a drink of water, stand back up, and then I pick my next little point, and I walk to that point. And the only way that I'm not going to make it to the top is if I stop walking. So I'm like that when I'm doing these hikes, and if I'm hunting with my dad, or not with my dad because my dad's the same way, but my friends hate going hunting with me because I always pick the farthest, most awesome looking peak, and I'm like, we're going to go to the top of there. And I just keep walking until we get there, and everybody's like, can't we just hang out right around here? So I always pick that spot, and I just go, and I just make it to the next ridge that you can see. And when I get there, I pick the next one, and I just keep moving. And so I want you guys to kind of look at your Beachbody business like this. I've always been that person that does that, will go just to that next spot and then to the next spot. And that's how I look at my Beachbody business. In Beachbody, I look at it as going from 1 month to the next. I don't even look at it as going from diamond. And at diamond, I'm looking for 1-star diamond. Once I get to 1-star diamond, I'm looking to 5-star. I don't even look at it like that. I look at it just month to month. Like, okay, the month ended. That was a hard month, or maybe it was a good month. But I'm like, the only way to get to that next part is to just keep walking every single day. I can't stop and lay down or turn around and go back. I have to keep walking. So I apply that to my business. I keep taking steps forward and focus just on that next point, which I look at as month to month. And that's why you'll see Sean, Tara, and I talking about Success Club all the time, because that's that measurable goal you can set for yourself that you can walk towards each month in your life and in your business. So I had all those life experiences beforehand, before I even became a coach. So I knew that concept of going for something hard and taking the daily steps for it. So I have that trait. So if you don't have that trait in yourself yet, you want to kind of work on developing that trait. And there's two other experiences I want to share with. Sean's probably heard about one of them, but there's two of them. I was a Boy Scout, and I wanted to go on this jamboree thing. It was like a tour of the East Coast to Disney World, Washington, D.C. I was probably 14, maybe 15 years old. And, of course, my parents, it wasn't something they could just pay for. I needed $2,000 to go on this trip. And so my dad helped me figure out something where I could make $2,000. We talked to a local pizza shop, and he gave me coupons for his pizzas. And it's a very popular one here. Everybody loves this place. But he gave me coupons, and I was to sell them for $10 a piece. And it was a very generous pizza. The owner was very generous. He would give me $5 for every $10 pizza I sold. So I set that goal to sell as many pizzas as I need at a $5 commission to make $2,000. Like, if you do that math, that's a crap ton load of pizzas at like 14 years old. So I put on my little Boy Scout shirt, which isn't the coolest thing to do when you're 14 years old. And I knocked on doors every day after school, and I sold all those pizzas I needed to make the $2,000. And I did it in like 3 weeks. But it was because I had a goal set. I had something like that was so inspiring to me that I wanted so bad, which was to go on that trip, that I was willing to spend every hour of my free time after school to go knock on doors, to find people, to sell them this pizza, right? So I could go on this trip. And you know what? I would go there and I'd tell them my story. Hey, I'm trying to earn a trip. I really want to go on this Scout Jamboree trip back east. And to do it, I need to earn $2,000. And I'm selling pizzas, and everybody knew who this pizza shop was. I wanted to know if you wanted to buy a couple pizzas, a couple coupons, and you can get them whenever you want. And I would offer them. You can get 1, you can get 5, you can get 10. And I was just very bold in telling them what my goal was, why I was doing it, and what I wanted, and I was able to do that. So I've had that trait before Beachbody, of setting a goal for something and then working my butt off for it. So that is leading up to me being a Beachbody coach. You guys know the rest of the story from there. We were able to, first bring my wife home from work. That was the thing that drove me the most, is I wanted to bring her home from work. And guys, I was so scared in the beginning to be a Beachbody coach. I love the products already. But I was afraid to sign up because I was afraid that I would fail, because it seemed so daunting, because I wanted to do this big. I wanted to bring my wife home, but I didn't want to fail at that. No one wants to fail your family, right? You're like, tell your wife, I want to bring you home from work, but then you don't want to go for it and not make it happen. It's kind of a scary thing. So how many of you guys have ever felt scared as a Beachbody coach? Raise your hand. If you've ever felt any sort of fear.
Well, more overwhelming.
Okay, overwhelming.
I'm really scared.
Yeah, too.
Okay, overwhelming. So I'm gonna go with this conversation. What makes you feel overwhelmed?
Well, for me, I started in December. I signed up the 1st of December, so I was in the December mastermind group, and trying to just figuring everything out all together. And it was just a lot of information quick.
Yeah.
And, my mindset, I'm good friends with Sean as well. So I know what he's done with his business. And just to get there, and from all that information coming at me, I don't know. It was almost, I didn't even know where to start at one point, right?
Yeah.
But as of this month, I've got everything figured out. I'm good to go.
Awesome. So there was that fear, that overwhelming in the beginning, that was kind of scary, that all this information thrown at you. One of the things, I started 4 new coaches today, and every single one of them, when I talk to them, I let them know. I was like, hey, we're going to do this coach training group, and it's going to be overwhelming. It's probably going to scare the shit out of you. That's what I told them. Like, you're going to not know what to do. It's going to be like, and 2 of them go to school right now. And I told them, I was like, it's going to be like getting accepted into school, and you walk in and they hand you every single book that you need for your master's degree, and every outline for every class. They're going to stack it up in front of you and say, here you go.
That's a good point.
Here's your degree. Go for it. It's going to feel like that. Like, you get everything. And what I let them know is, like, just understand that all that's going to be there, but you don't have to understand it all in the beginning. The goal is to work on yourself, growing yourself, and inviting other people to work on their fitness and health transformation. Stay focused on that, and know that you're going to learn everything else just like you do in school. That you show up to class every single day, and eventually it's not so overwhelming. You start to get a grasp. You start to get into the swing of things. But the first thing to do is to just start showing up to class and learning what you can. Writing notes of things you need to do, kind of creating a to-do list so you're not so overwhelmed. So I would recommend that for you, not for you because you're starting to get a hold of it, but as you start new coaches, letting them know that it's going to overwhelm them ahead of time a little bit so that they don't let it all stop them from doing anything. So you can let them know, hey, you don't have to understand all that stuff that's coming at you. Here's the basics that you need to get started on right now. And then start, learning this other stuff as you go one day at a time. But I'll tell you guys, I was scared too. Like I was frightened out of my mind for 8 months before I even became a coach. See, you became a coach and got all that stuff. My case was I started looking online and seeing all this training from Lindsay, my coach, and everybody, and I'm like, holy crap, that's so much stuff. And I was so scared, right, of feeling, of understanding everything, of knowing if I could help people, all that stuff. But there came a day 8 months after I first contacted Lindsay about becoming a coach, and that day my fear of being able to take care of my family became greater than my fear of failing as a coach. That like the tables turned. I wasn't so scared anymore about failing as a coach because I had so much fear that I couldn't pay my bills. I was sitting in my cubicle at work, and it was April 11th, and it was 19 days after my third baby was born. And the doctor bills, I used to get my mail on the way to work and bring them into my office. And so I'm opening these bills. My wife's home with a baby, so we don't have her income. I got like my mortgage payment bill that came in. I had doctor bills. And guys, I made a grand total after taxes and insurance of $1,820 a month after taxes, insurance, and 401k, which is $910 every 2 weeks. And my mortgage alone right there was $1,542. So a mortgage of $1,500 with an income of $1,800 a month and doctor bills. I was scared out of my mind. Like I was so afraid that I wouldn't be able to pay those bills that fear became greater than my fear of failing as a coach or being judged, like for trying to sell a product, or all those fears that I had. So if you're having those fears or anything that's holding you back about being judged or about what people might think of you, you've got to figure out what you want in this life and have it either be so scary or so painful, kind of how Sean is at the point where he does not want to be a DJ anymore. That's greater than his, whatever it is for the sacrifices he needs to make on his sleep to run this team for you guys and to build his business and to be the example for you, to make those sacrifices and make that extra time to do that is because he does not want to be a DJ anymore and spend that time away from his new baby and Tara. So you've got to get to that point in your life where there's something that's so painful that's going to drive you, or there's something so great that you can envision in the future for your family or for yourself that drives you to work and to show up every single day with passion and excitement on your business. So that's been the thing that's always been driving me. And guys, the important thing about this, I'm going to ask you guys the question, and I'm going to ask somebody else this time to respond. What do you think are the most important, if you can name 2 or 3 of the most important things that you need to develop in yourself to be successful, what would they be? Who wants to give some ideas or throw some out? Or each person could throw out something.
Personal development.
Personal development. I'll tell you right now, if you're not doing personal development on a daily basis, you might as well stop doing this because you waste your time.
It gets us through the times when you get all those no's.
All the times you get all the no's. What were you saying, Nicole?
I need to start reading more personal development in my reading. I would like to read more books.
Yes. There's a book called, just to let you guys know how much I did in the beginning because of my fear of failing. I read new books all the time now. I got a whole stack. I'm reading 7 Levels of Intimacy right now, but I do 52 books a year. And in the first year, I didn't know what books to read. I had no guidance in that aspect, doing this on my own. I listened to The Slight Edge, The Compound Effect, 60 times in my first year at work. It was in my ear. So I knew without a doubt that all the activities I was doing every day would compound into $1 million business if I just kept doing what I was doing. I didn't know how it would happen. I didn't know the math or the logic of how that would happen, but it was so ingrained in my subconscious from listening to that all day long. And I listened to that, and I listened to Craig Holliday's 90 Days of Excellence. Just on and off. Like, I would listen to those all day long. I listened to Think and Grow Rich a few times and Millionaire Next Door. Those were the only 3 books that I had. And I had them on audio, and they were on my phone, in my pocket at work. And it was just, everybody thought I was listening to music, and I was just filling my mind with that stuff. So I knew without a doubt that I would be successful in this business. And it's funny that that training has nothing to do with how to run a Beachbody team, how to run challenge groups, but it was all about the belief in myself. So personal development, what other traits do you feel that you guys will need to develop to build the business that you guys want?
Be more consistent. I have to be more consistent.
Absolutely.
Like I have been, but there's days when I'm just like got so much going on and I forget to do that post or to do my list. So.
Yeah. So it's, you know, I wrote a post about this on Facebook. It might've been this morning. See, I don't even know what day it is anymore. So it was about consistency. It was about commitment, because commitment lines up with consistency, right? If you're committed to doing something, you're going to be consistent at it. Like if you commit to doing your list of 10 things or whatever it is you do for your business every day, the 3 vital behaviors, if you commit to do that, if it's a real commitment, you do that. You show up and you do that every day. If it's a commitment. But what I was talking about in that post is it's not really a commitment issue. It's a lack of purpose issue. Because if we don't have a purpose is a thing that makes you do the thing or makes you stay committed or disciplined and consistent in the thing that you're trying to do. So a lot of times if you're not consistent, it's because you're not clear on your purpose. You don't know why you're doing it. You're not emotionally tied to the end result of what you want. So if something comes up like my friends invite me to the UFC fights, you know, or my friends invite me out to play softball, and I'm not, but I still have to do my 2 hour, let's say back in when I started, I was at work all day for 12 hours. I come home. I know I have to do this power list. I'm committed to doing that. But if I'm not clear on my purpose, on why I'm a coach and why I need to do those 2 things and what the end result of that's going to be in a year from now or 2 years from now, and I'm not clear on that, it's going to be that much easier to not commit, to say, hey, you know what, like I'll catch up on that stuff later. I'm going to go watch the fights, or I'm going to go play softball. I can catch up tomorrow. But if you're clear on your purpose, then you're going to be consistent. Okay. So if you lack the commitment to show up every day to it, it means you need to get more clear on your purpose. On why are you a coach? Why are you doing these 10 things every day? Why do you want to be a diamond coach? What does that mean to you? You know, what does 5-star diamond mean? What does elite mean? You know, getting real clear on what those mean, and that's what's going to make you be consistent when you're clear on that. Because I can tell you guys right now, I want you guys to see I don't talk about income much in this business, but guys, this business makes our family $20,000 a week with Team Beachbody. I want you guys to know the possibility. Like, I'm a shy, introverted, quiet guy from a small town in Idaho Falls. Like, that's what this business can do for you if you're consistent. And guys, so why do I say that? Because why do I show up and teach this team call for you guys and do this, spend my time doing this? Or why did I get on the phone with 5 prospects today? Why did I even start new coaches if I have this team of 23,000 coaches that will make us money whether I work or not nowadays? And the reason is why I still stay committed and I still work that schedule is because I'm still clear on my purpose. That's the only way I can still stay committed, because if I wasn't, I could just be like, oh, we're still going to make $4,000 a day whether I sit down on my computer or not with a network marketing business like this. So you have to be clear on your purpose from the beginning, in your middle stages, when you're a brand new diamond, when you're in a top leader in the company and in your organization. You got to be clear on that purpose, because when you're clear on that, you know why you're showing up every single day. And you hear people talk about your why, and so your why is always going to be changing. So if your why is not strong enough right now to make you commit, you've got to come up with a stronger one. You've got to dig a little bit deeper inside of yourself, really find out what your fears about life are. Are you afraid that you won't have a retirement someday? Are you afraid that if something happens in your family, you won't be able to take care of it, like a medical thing? Are you afraid your parents can't retire? Are you afraid that you can't put your daughters in school when the time comes or pay for their wedding? All these things, gather up all these things about life and get real clear about, I'm going to take care of this stuff. This is why I'm doing this business, or this is why I'm going to commit to this. And I'll tell you guys what my big purpose is. I made a little video on it. I'm going to talk about it in more detail tomorrow night on my team's call. But we have our business. Like I feel like I'm retired, like I'm on vacation for 2.5 years, because this doesn't feel like work to me. Talking to you guys, this doesn't feel like work at all. Because I get to meet new friends and connect with people, and that's what this business is all about. But my new why, my new big purpose, it's always changed. Went from bringing my wife home to bringing me home, to being debt free and not having a mortgage payment anymore, to owning a dream cabin that I can invite Sean and Tara to, I can bring my local coaches to, that I can spend time with my kids at. So like, what's next? It's always advancing. And so I always have to develop and change that why and refocus and continue to clarify my purpose as I grow as a person. So my next one, I'll let you guys know, I have my mom signed up as a coach, and I signed up coaches for her this week. And I'm going to I let my parents know on Sunday. I walked in with my third business center application for my third business center. And I told my mom and dad, I was like, hey, Dad, you're retiring in 2 years. This is your ticket right here. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm going to build you a 6-figure business. I'm going to build you a business just like mine. I've done it 3 times already with my first, my second, and Gabby's business. I built 6-figure incomes. I'm going to build you one now. And you can leave your job in 2 years, and you can hunt all you want. You can fish all you want. You can spend time with the grandkids all you want. When you see me go to the cabin, you can come with me. And so that's my next thing, is retiring my parents like that. So that's why I'm showing up here to you guys and continuing to teach and motivate, because I have that new next purpose, next goal, next summit that I'm walking towards that keeps me driving forward. So if you're lacking in commitment and showing up every day, what is it that we need to focus on rather than commitment necessarily?
Purpose.
Yep, getting clear on your purpose. And if you're not clear yet, have Sean and Tara, Bonita, Nicole, your coaches as well, talk with them and getting more clear on their purpose, because that's going to help them be more consistent. So what other traits? We got read more personal development. A successful coach is committed. What else do you guys see or think is necessary for a successful coach?
Being proof of the product.
Absolutely. Vital behaviors. Always crushing it. Like you guys have it can be a little bit debilitating having a great upline sometimes. We have Lindsay that way. You guys got Sean. Bonita, you're becoming a great leader. Tara, Nicole, all you guys are becoming great leaders. But, you have to work every day on your transformation. You have to be your own. This is one thing I was talking to about with one of my guy coaches. I was like, you got to be your own best damn coach. Like, you got to be the best coach that you can be. Like, you guys have a great upline, but some people don't have that. And I was having this conversation with somebody that doesn't have that. And I was like, then you got to make sure that you're that person for every single person that comes into your life. You got to be the absolute best person that you can be. And so I don't want you guys to make that excuse for yourself and be like, well, Sean's pretty good and Scottie's pretty good and Lindsay, so I can just be, I don't have to really push myself or be that good because we got all this great training in our team. You act like we don't even exist. You guys become the very best coach that you can be for everybody. So what other Damon, do you have any things that you think a successful coach needs to exhibit?
I actually signed him up 2 days ago, Scottie.
Oh, he's brand new.
He's brand new. Like, this is the first interaction he's had.
So you're brand new. So you haven't had the experience yet to kind of see what it takes. Welcome to the team, Damon. You're in the right place. It may seem scary right now, like your coach said, a little overwhelming, but stay focused on the basics. The 3 vital behaviors start changing lives. Does anybody else have any? Kara, you've been hitting Success Club every month. You're almost diamond. What things are necessary for success, do you feel?
I think just basically consistency.
Consistency.
It's huge. I can't even express it.
Absolutely. Showing up every day. Guys, one of my favorite mentors, and I look at my mentors as all the books that I read, the authors. When I listen to the books or read them, I pretend I'm sitting down at a table, at a coffee table, and that author's speaking to me. That's what I look at as when I'm reading the book. These people are successful in whatever business they do. I sit down and I pretend when I'm reading that I'm talking that he's talking right to me. So learning from those books, and then helps you believe in yourself, so you can be clear on your purpose and then stay consistent with your 3 vital behaviors, sharing with people. And I'm going to tell you guys, one of my favorites is John C. Maxwell. And guys, we see success, like you guys see me shouting out like Sean is top coach of the month. He's my first Star Diamond male coach on the team. Sometimes when you're not at that level, you're not hitting Success Club yet, or maybe you're not at Emerald yet, you can be a little bit discouraged because you're not doing those things. You're not hitting those goals yet. But I want you to know that doing the activities, doing the 3 vital behaviors every single day is just as important as hitting Success Club and Emerald, because doing that consistently is what's going to bring you Success Club in the future. Like every coach that I sign up, or a customer that I sign up, or a challenger, all comes from something I did in the past. Like the coaches I signed up today all came from a Facebook post they first saw months ago, and I reached out to them, and then they watched what I did and watched me be consistent over months. Every coach I sign up comes from a friend that watched me do this, that sees me show up every single day no matter what. It comes from a video that I created back in 2011 about seeing my daughter get off the bus and my drive to be a stay-at-home dad. And then there's a mom that wants to be at home with her kids instead of sending the kids off to babysitter. And she sees that video and she contacts me. So every Success Club point I have now, or a coach I start, comes from something I did in the past. So the reason it's so important is that what happens if Sean is doing these inspiring Facebook posts, making videos, doing his workouts, making accountability of his workouts, and then he's just like, this is just too hard. I'm not gonna do, I'm gonna take a break, or life gets hard and he just stops. What happens when that person that's been watching him gets to a moment in their life like I did when I couldn't pay my bills and I'm like, I'm ready? What would have happened if Lindsay wouldn't have been there anymore? She invited me to be a coach. 8 months later was when I was ready. What would have happened? My life, you guys might not even be here today if that day came and Lindsay wasn't there. So she was consistent, and I saw that. And so when I was ready, she was there for me to sign me up 8 months later. So that's why consistency is so important. I'm going to share this really quick thing about one of my new coaches, just to kind of touch on that really quick, to show you an example directly of that. And I see this every day in my business. So it's going to take, as new coaches, it's going to take having faith that every activity, every action that you do is time invested, that you're going to be paid back on that in someone's life being changed in the future. And I'll read it to you right here. It says, this is a blog post from one of my new coaches. He's been a coach for like 3 months. She's like, Ashley sent me a picture and a video of Insanity Max 30 in November of 2014. I became highly interested in it. I searched YouTube and Google and came across this young guy, Scottie Hobbs, that I thought was so much like me. I watched his fitness journey with Insanity Max 30. He was consistent with his workouts and spoke nothing but positive. I visited his website at scottiehobbs.com. and was attracted to how this guy was living life. He was such an inspiration and created the image that I saw within myself. He loves God, family, fitness, inspiring others, etc. I, like him, had also been an advocate of personal development, reading books by such great leaders like John C. Maxwell. I contacted him and immediately signed up as a coach without knowing what I was getting myself into. I didn't ask any questions. I just jumped into it because I felt that after 2 years that it was the answer, that the tool for me to accomplish my God-given purpose in this life. My analytical side would never have allowed this, but my emotional side made the decision. Looking back on the decision, it was a positive, life-changing experience that I will never regret. So why did Derek sign up as a coach with me?
Consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Following you.
He followed and I had no idea that this man was following me. He lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. And all I was doing that at first attracted him or grabbed his attention is I was doing my max 30 as hard as I could. And I was holding myself accountable by making videos every single day. You know, sweating, like, hey, this is day 3 of Insanity Max 30. I nearly died. I gotta find my life and get back up and figure out the rest of this day now that that's done. But all I did was just share who I was and my personality. And he's like, this guy's just like me. And so there's that consistency. And that's what builds the trust. So many times I see people like coming up with, what's the word? I don't even know the word because I don't have to deal with it that much. Objections to price or objections to Shakeology. When you're consistent at adding value to people and consistent to showing up, you build the trust with people beforehand that they come to you and they know that they're going to get value from you that's worth way more than $140 21-day fixed challenge pack, because they know you're going to be there. Because I think that's the biggest thing people want in life is integrity and trust. And if you're consistent on your social media and what you do and what you stand for and your purpose, and you do that on a consistent basis, that's going to add value to people, and they're going to see that value, and they're going to be attracted to you and want to do what you're doing, in your life as well. And I know it's getting late, and I don't want to keep you guys up too late because you guys got a ton of inviting to do.
Oh.
Right? And I got a coach opportunity call right after this as well. So one of the best quotes or little videos I ever heard, I think was I think it was Will Ferrell. Because guys, I'm a weirdo. I'm different. It's hard I'm kind of weird to have a conversation with if it's not about Beachbody. I'm like that guy that doesn't know what to say after
awkward
questions. If it's about Beachbody or I know you really well, it's good, but I'm working on it still. So how come I can do this or inspire so many people? It's because I'm willing to work harder than anybody else. That's it. I'll believe it. And the belief came through all the personal development, learning to believe in myself. But there was a video, I can't remember what it was, by Will Ferrell that says, if I get on a treadmill, I'm going to run faster than the person next to me. I'm going to run harder than the person next to me. So I was just, I've had tons of coaches pass me in this business and go 15-star diamond, double 15-star diamond, but I have the blinders on. Like, their purpose is not mine. I'm focused on what I stand for, who I am, and I'll just run as hard as I can and help as many people as I can and not worry about what everybody else is doing. Because if I do that, I'm going to try to be like everybody else. And if I'm like everybody else, if I try to be like everybody else, then I can never really become the true me, which is going to attract people to me that are like me. And I want to attract people like me because I'm a hardworking person. Like that's how I attracted Sean into my business. Just by being me, showing up consistently. Sean, is that a little bit how you found me because of consistency?
Yeah, it was consistency. I was following another coach at the time, and somehow your video popped up, and then I saw you burning your mortgage on on stage, and that's what attracted to me. It was mind-boggling because in the beginning I had the same transformation as you did, and I knew nothing about the business side. And I remember my first message to you. I didn't know who you were. It was simple. Can you make money doing this? And it just went from there.
And I wasn't hesitant. I said, let me show you how, man.
Yeah.
So it's the consistency, guys. And I'm somebody that wants to follow somebody that's consistent. You know, if I'm going to a church or going to somewhere, I want to go somewhere where the person does what they say they're going to do, you know? And so become that person. Be the person that does what you say you're going to do. And it goes back to making sure that you're clear on your purpose, clear on the vision for your life. And I just have to share with, I'm going to share it tomorrow, but I want to share it with you six. I had this big aha moment today. And I want to share with you guys what the difference was. And it ties back into something that Nicole and Bonita talked about. Is I've had probably the most successful month of my entire Beachbody career this month. The most successful month ever. But let me tell you a few things about this month leading into this. You know, I shattered my collarbone, you know, in 7 places. So I was on pain pills half of this month. So I was like not there completely. Maybe that helped me sell some challenge packs, right? I was just, whoa, everybody sign up. You know, I don't know what it was, but I was lost for a couple weeks, not feeling good, in bed for most of the day, sleeping it off. So I went through that. It was like 3 days after like 2 days after the accident, before I even had my surgery, I went to fill up the freaking hot tub for Mike and Jen Greenberg, who are my 9-star diamonds. They came from Tennessee, and they love hot tubbing. So I went to refill it up, and I freaking burst the pipe and flooded my entire basement. You know, this month. That was this month. So I had the restoration team here. My house was torn apart. The carpets were up. The sheetrock was ripped out. And I got 4 kids in my house, and Mike and Jennifer staying here. And I'm on painkillers. And Mike's actually the one that took me to to my surgery. You know, and the doctor thought he was my domestic partner and talked to him about giving me a bath. So I went through all these things. You know, I flooded my basement. I'm on this. Today I even found out I had a precancerous spot, and I got it frozen off my face this morning over here. So it's like all these things happening this month, but it's the most successful month I've ever had. And I'm going to tell you guys why. I figured it out today. And it's more successful points, more coaches than I've ever added to my team over in the past 4 years. We have Success Club 34. I signed my mom. I gave her 2 coaches and hit her Success Club 5. I signed my wife 3 coaches, you know, all in 1 month. And that's the most I've ever done. And yes, it has to do with consistency and the compound effect. You know, people come to me for my videos now, just like Sean did. But I'm closing more people when I get them on the phone, right? That they're signing up right then instead of it dragging on. And I'll tell you, I figured it out what it is today. So we had this incident. It happened this month as well. Our instant presenter account for our team calls got shut down. So we lost all of our recordings for the past 4 years. So all that work of all these team calls that we've done every single week were lost. We lost them all. So add that to the broken collarbone, the flooded basement. We lost all of those calls. So I'm like, oh, what do we do? You know, and immediately I'm like, you know what? We create new stuff. You know, we're new now. We're better now. We can create new stuff. It's not a problem. But we got a hold of the instant presenter, and we had to pay them. They like held our team calls hostage. So we had to pay them $400 for a month's access to our recordings, so I could record as many of them as I could. So here is the key to success this month, and why I feel I've done better than I ever have, is I work about 6 hours a day. Well, guys, I've been listening to about 9 hours a day of coach success stories and coach opportunities and team call trainings, because I'm sitting here working on my list, and over here on this other screen, I got a team call. I'm recording it. So I'm listening to like 9 hours of coaches' stories, their tips, their success stories. So I'm getting like 9 hours of personal development while I'm recording these calls. And so I've done like 4 times more a day of personal development and of Beachbody coach training stuff, like filling my mind with all these success stories. And so as I get on the phone with these prospects, my mind is like exploding with positive energy and success stories and how amazing this business is, because my mind is full of all that positive. Even though all this crappy stuff happened, because I'm recording these calls and my mind is constantly filled with this positivity, and listening to Sean do coach opportunity and Terry Fisher do coach opportunity call, and listening to new coach getting started webinars that our coaches have done, you know, just all these team calls, my mind is just full of that positive energy from all of the coaches that when I get on the phone with a prospect, like there's not even a slightest doubt that I know that Beachbody can help them improve their life when I introduce them to coaching and boldly tell them to do the 21-day fix challenge pack and to sign up right now. So that's what I want to share with you guys. Even though all this crappy stuff is going on in the life right now, or has happened this month, if you focus on the positive and continue filling your mind with those positive things, you can always stay more focused on your purpose and what you're doing, which is going to in turn make you stay more consistent. Sean and I want you guys to hit your goals. We want you guys to achieve whatever it is that your big goals and your dreams are. And I hope that I get to meet all of you guys when I come up to Canada and I can hear about those firsthand, one-on-one. But I want you guys to get clear on those. So when we talk in Canada, you can tell me why you're doing this, what's driving you, so I can know that about you and help push you and have you achieve those as well. So trust the process, guys. Like, I know it seems daunting and scary in the beginning because it's such a big thing to have a big goal and a big dream like that. But look at that next step and to just keep walking, keep moving forward, being consistent, staying focused and clear on your purpose. You know, there's times when I just got to walk outside and I got to shut everything off and I got to walk around the cul-de-sac a few times and remember what I'm doing things like this for, remember why I'm a coach, and then push forward from there every single day. So Sean, Tara, or Juanita, do any of you guys have any questions or anything you want to add on to that?
No, for me, I just want all you guys just be consistent every day. That's all I talk about. Whenever there's struggles, you know, I just come back to being consistent. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I know November and December were tough, and if you guys remember back then, I spoke to you guys and I said, forget the number. It's not about the number. It's about growing yourself up here and right there. And then you move forward. It's not always about the number, but if you guys are growing every day and learning something new and pushing forward, then you're already winning. And then I'm happy because that's what it's about, is winning, but for yourself. And as you work towards your goals and you guys are feeling confident, your business will take off. I promise you that. It will take off, but you got to work on yourself first. Yeah.
Believe, work on yourself, and then stay consistent with those goals. Just to reiterate what Sean said there, guys, your success, and it's one thing that I preach as well, and I love that you're teaching that as well, Sean, is your success is not your rank or your income or your status with Team Beachbody. Success is being clear in your purpose and then growing yourself daily and planting seeds of growth in others and showing up every single day with a clear purpose and just doing the activity, doing the 3 vital behaviors on a consistent basis, growing yourself, planting seeds of growth in others. That's success. Because if you do that, your life is changing. You're growing as a leader. You're planting those seeds of growth in others. And when other people grow and realize their potential and their purpose and they begin to take action in their life change, all the money, the rank, the income, all that stuff follows behind doing that thing. So you're successful if you're doing those things. So I want to reiterate that as well, as just stay consistent. When you don't feel like showing up, listen to some audios, get clear, get refocused on your purpose, and then just do it. Tony Robbins is the first one that teaches you can't wait to be motivated or wait for somebody to motivate you. You gotta act your way into feeling motivated. Now, I know that's how I am. Like some days I'm like, I don't want to really sit here because I do this full time. I don't want to sit here for 6 hours a day. But I get down and I start doing it within it's just like a workout. You do 5 minutes and you're in and you'll finish the rest of the workout. Same thing goes with your business. Just start the steps and you'll act your way into motivation. And when you can do that, that's when you're going to truly be successful in form. When you can do that every single day. So, guys, thank you for letting me be on your call. I'm excited to come out and meet you guys in April. Spend some time with you guys. Go out to dinner and do Super Saturday as well. So, Super Sunday for you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Scottie.
Thanks, Scottie.
See you guys. That was kind of a cheesy little finger bye-bye thing there.
Sloth.
See you guys.